This week on Wisconsin Foodie.
I love food that makes me think.
When you have a meat eater stopping at a vegan restaurant to try a burger and they can't tell the difference. And I feel like, we're doing something right.
Today, we're gonna check out Twisted Plant on Brady Street.
I've heard this is the place to be, and it's all vegan.
All vegan.
I still consider myself an omnivore. This actually provides a really, really nice change of pace.
You can get spicy, you can get sweet, you can get savory.
I can't believe that that's plant-based. Maybe a little bit better than a lot of the burgers that I've had the opportunity to sink my teeth into.
Our second stop today is Strangetown.
It's essentially vegan farm-to-table food. I source as much as possible from small local farms.
This is a bite of paradise.
I think the majority of my customers are omnivores. A lot of people who are eating more conscientiously overall. The fancy nachos.
Those are gorgeous. The flavors on this are insane. It totally has me rethinking how I can use my garden this next year. If you are skeptical at all about plant-based dining, it's really not a stretch at all. It's just as satisfying. And quite frankly, it's fun.
Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters.
Milwaukee is known by most as a meat and potatoes kind of town. But behind the scenes, there's an emerging culinary movement of plant-based dining. Today, we're gonna check out two restaurants in the city that have vastly different cooking styles, but very similar ethos. My first stop is Twisted Plant on Brady Street, and we are going to explore their relaxed approach to comfort food.
I'm Brandon Hawthorne, co-owner of Twisted Plants. We're at our location on Brady Street, 1233 East Brady in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ideal came from a diet change or a health change. My wife got diagnosed with lymphoma back in 2016. We switched our diets with plant-based, and we noticed that when we went out, it was a lack of options for like vegan and vegetarian food, comfort food at least. And that what gave us the ideal. Born and raised in Milwaukee, I'm not a chef, I prefer a cook. So I feel like a chef, I tip my hat. So at our heart, we're a burger joint, but at the same time, we try to encapsulate the cannabis theme. So when you walk in, you see, old school movies, old cannabis-themed movies, new and old, and it's geared towards our menu. So most of our menu items are named after a cannabis-themed movie. I think that we offer a variety of every taste bud. You can get spicy, you can get sweet, you can get savory. We have burgers that have pineapples on them. You can get chicken. We do like a boneless version of boneless wings. Definitely comfort food, and I think that's why people love it so much because when you're looking for a quick bite to eat or something to feel fulfilled, and you leave it with a smile. When you have a meat eater stopping at a vegan restaurant to try a burger and they can't tell the difference. And I feel like, we're doing something right. Honestly, it's no trick. It's just, it's putting love and flavor and seasoning to the food. So, we have mac and cheese. We competition today, we're doing gumbo. We can do greens, we can do chicken. So just veganizing everything that's on a regular everyday menu. Hey, how you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm all right, how may I help you?
I've heard this is the place to be. What would you recommend for a guy like me walking in?
Just to let you know, everything is vegan, but we told you can't tell the difference. So I definitely recommend our Upper Smoke burger. That's our most selling burger, most popular burger. So come with pickles, onions, lettuce, bacon, onion rings, salt high.
And it's all vegan?
All vegan.
Yeah, that sounds great. Does that count as a salad for me today?
It do. I think you deserve a cheat day, so
I love it.
The right pace.
I love it, man. Let's do the Up and Smoke.
I got you.
Thank you.
I feel like we don't do anything special, but other than seasonings, a little bit of love, and consistency, and we got a decent burger. Yeah, so as our base patty, we do use Beyond. If you're familiar with Beyond the cousin to impossible. So pea protein, it's actually soy and gluten-free. Let each patty, each side cook for about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. After that 2 to 3 minutes, flip it, get the cheese ready. You know, it don't take long to cook plant-based meats for the most part, as like the counterpart animal-based meats. When they say like 2 to 3 minutes, literally 2 to 3 minutes, and you should have it should be good. The biggest thing is with like making a burger, it's like that cheese smell. Everybody's looking for that cheese smell, and I feel like, we use a dome to help melt the cheese with a little bit of steam, and cheese come out perfect. And that's like a stigma. It's like vegan cheese, it's kind of nasty or don't taste right. And that could be true if you don't know how to do it properly. So yeah, it's about there.
Oh man, that looks great.
Yeah, so what we have is our upper smoke burger. One of our popular burgers consists of onions, pickles, lettuce, tomato, onion rings, bacon, and a little bit of cheese on there.
That sounds
All
delicious.
vegan.
I love it. Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, hope you enjoy.
I will, thank you.
Yeah.
So this burger, the Up and Smoke, named after the film by Cheech and Chong, which actually I was fortunate enough as a kid to have on record. But all of this right now, the aroma, I mean, it's fantastic. I know that this burger has so much going on with it. It's not very often when we talk about foods that are comfort foods right here in the upper Midwest where we lean into that plant base. But I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's a nice contrast. I still consider myself an omnivore, but an ethical omnivore. And this actually provides a really, really nice change of pace. So, without further ado, I can't believe that that's plant-based. This burger is like tangy, it's smoky, it's rich, it's delicious. The textures, I mean, it's got all sorts of stuff going on in here. You get a little crunch, you get the softness, you get the obviously quintessential lettuce, tomato, pickle. But all in all, this is, I guess as the kids would say, a dank burger. One of the things that's super exciting about this place, Twisted Plains, is it's taking comfort food, like classic Americana, and rewrapping it in this idea of being plant-based, something that is actually really healthy and really sustainable. And I'll be darned if this isn't just as good, if not even maybe a little bit better, than a lot of the burgers that I've had the opportunity to sink my teeth into. I am super stoked about the idea of Twisted Plants. I love the way it tastes, and it's pretty comfortable in here, if you know what I mean.
Our second stop today is Strangetown. Now, Strangetown is an elevated, eco-conscious, plant-based dining experience. Chef Mia takes it a step further. She sources a majority of her foods from local farmers and food producers, giving you an experience that speaks to the local flavors.
My name is Mia Latan. We are at Strangetown. We opened up in October of 2017. Well, we do small plates. It's all local produce. I mean, it's essentially vegan farm-to-table food. So I source as much as possible from small local farms. I really like supporting sustainable local food systems, people who are working with regenerative farming techniques, keeping it seasonal and local, and doing it vegan, because I feel like that's one thing you don't necessarily find at a lot of vegan restaurants is like that focus in like local seasonal foods. In the last decade, I've seen a surge in veganism, but more so, a lot of people who are eating more conscientiously overall. So I think the majority of my customers are omnivores. I try to focus on balanced flavor profiles and textures. instead of making a substitution. So rather than making, say, like a mock meatloaf or something like that, I try to create something that hits those flavor notes that any other dish would hit, and the same textures, but just utilizing vegetables and grains. I want people to leave here satiated. They should be full, they should have had an interesting experience, maybe something new that they haven't tried before, a new combination or a new vegetable that I've showcased. Overall, I would like for all of the elements to be in every dish. There should be some element of sweetness and bitterness, a little bit of spice, like something salty, something crispy. It should all be there. And I feel like when all of that hits, you're like, now that was a good meal. It gets really lively in here. Usually in the evenings, we've got the lights dim and the music up. We play all vinyl in here, and we keep the playlist pretty eclectic. So a lot of foreign music, a lot of jazz, a lot of something fun that just creates its own vibe. And between the candlelight and the flowers and the music, it's always fun and energetic, and I would say like romantic. It's a nice date spot. Yeah, I started cooking when I was an early teenager, when I decided to stop eating meat. My mom wasn't real happy with that idea. She didn't want to make 2 dinners, so she was like, well, you eat this or you make your own. So for a few years, I ate a lot of like ramen noodle sandwiches, stuff like that. And then I remember, I think it was like senior year in high school, I bought my first cookbook and started making recipes from it. And like, I was horrible at it at first. I mean, just terrible. Following the recipes, but I didn't know some little tricks like timing, balancing flavors, how to adjust salt content.
Hey!
Hi!
How are you, Mia?
I'm great, how are you?
It's so good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So, I've never actually been in Strangetown before. Can you just give me the kind of hot and dirty take? What am I in for this?
Sure. Okay, so it's gonna be all small shareable plates, all entirely vegan, and predominantly from local small farms.
Are you a trained chef? Tell me a little bit about your evolution in the industry.
I'm not, I'm self-taught. I was working in kitchens in my early 20s when I was putting myself through film school. And by the time I was finished with school, I realized that kitchens was a better spot for me. I felt more comfortable in the kitchen than I did behind the camera.
Well, thank you for making that choice, not only for yourself, but for the rest of us too. And I'm so excited to try your cuisine.
Thanks. Yay. Today, I'll be making fancy nachos. It's a Strangetown staple. These are my heirloom pinto beans. I pressure cook them with dried chili peppers and some garlic. We make a carrot queso, so no soy or nuts in our mock cheese. It's made out of potatoes and carrots and some seasonings. Very much a house favorite. Top it with a mojo cashew crema, hibiscus pico de gallo, pickled jalapeno peppers, and the heirloom beans that I get from the Southeast Asian farmers. So it's a nice dish. It honestly is like substantial and filling if you wanted to eat it as a meal, but it's also a really great snack to have with drinks. All right, the fancy nachos.
Those are gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love beautifully plated food, and in this concept with plant-based ingredients, this to me speaks like a love letter. I think vegan cuisine is very, very sophisticated and elegant, and I'm super excited to taste it.
Thank you.
The flavors on this are insane. You get the acidity from that hibiscus, obviously the crunch of the corn chip, that queso and the mojo. Oftentimes when I eat really refined vegan food, the possibilities are kind of limitless. Taking plant-based ingredients and being able to construct them in a way that is inventive, delicious, imaginative, and strikes kind of a familiar chord somehow. Having never had vegan nachos before, this is very comfortable. I like the beans in there. God bless America, that's good. Oh yeah. The acidity, the richness, the spice, all of it works. It's super delicious and comfortable. I can't wait to see what's next.
I'm making a cauliflower chowder. So I'm starting with some sweet yellow onions, some red bell pepper, celery, and leeks. And I'll caramelize those and then add cauliflower and some seasonings, roasted garlic, cashew cream. I mean, I like soup all year, but it's also one of the best foods to eat leftover. So you don't have to worry about like the texture changing. This is porcini broth. I'm gonna use this to cook down the majority of the ingredients in the soup. And once they're tender, I'll add some cashew cream for richness. I'm gonna cap these and let them cook. Like if this was a non-vegan soup, I'd probably be adding heavy cream right now. Cashews are the vegan heavy cream. And then a little nutritional yeast. Bumps up the B vitamin content, and it also adds like a little bit of umami that is kind of hard to find in the plant world. It's going to add a little bit of flavor, and it's going to actually help thicken. This is the cashew cream. It cooks a little bit. It will thicken the entire soup up to like a nice porridge. And the beauty of soup is like, I'm not using a recipe, I'm just making up a thing. So soup is great because it's different essentially every time, and it just uses whatever ingredients I want to use and feel like using. I love black pepper. And I love for it to be freshly ground. Just adds a nice little kick. So a little bit of house-made chili oil. It's not very hot, but it's very flavorful. Crispy shallots, and a smidge of microgreens. And that's that. All right, here is the cauliflower chowder.
Mia, tell me what's in the cauliflower chowder.
Okay, so I start my base with leeks, sweet yellow onion, and sweet bell pepper. I soften those. I add some really beautiful local cauliflower and some porcini broth. Cook it down until it's mostly tender, and then we're adding a really nice creamy, it's a cashew cream with some aromatics in it, topped with fried shallot, microgreens, and chili oil.
Soup for me is one of those foods that I could eat year round. And in this particular instance, I love that creamy richness of the cauliflower. You get some of the smokiness of smoked paprika, the crisp of the fried shallot, and all these beautiful vegetables in here. This is decadent, to say the least. This soup has everything I love about food, like in one concentrated piece. You've got texture, you've got consistency, you've got richness. And I promise, if you are skeptical at all about plant-based dining, there is so much food that we eat all the time that is plant-based. It's really not a stretch at all. It's just as satisfying. And quite frankly, it's fun. Come in for the soup, stay for the nachos. I haven't had a bite here that's bad.
I'll also be making some Daikon cakes. So first we source a really fantastic purple daikon from a local farm. We shred it, and we add a few other seasonings such as like freshly grated ginger and really nice shallots. We put them all together, cook off most of the moisture, and then we make a batter out of rice flour. Incorporate the vegetables with the batter and then steam it in the oven in a steam pan for a few hours, and it congeals into this beautiful mass you see before you. All right, our Daikon cakes with sesame tatsoi.
Daikon Cakes. Wow, that is rad. I like being able to cut this open and like all the different textures and vegetables, like you can tell. This is a process that took time. So there's a richness to this that's kind of hard to pinpoint at first. I get hit with notes of, almost like fennel, like lightly sauerkrauted or lacto-fermented vegetables. But then as that flavor expands, it becomes so succulent and deep. The spices, it's put together really, really well. So there's this little bit of lingering heat on my palate, and the greens tie it all together. This is a bite of paradise. It totally has me rethinking how I can use my garden this next year, which I think as a chef is so exciting. To be able to think about the bounty of the seasons in Wisconsin and how to rework some of those ingredients, not only for all of the cost-effective reasons, but also for the sentimental and emotional impact of eating a plant-based diet. My favorite part about the Strangetown experience is coming in and seeing really, really familiar ingredients to the Wisconsin culinary landscape, reimagined and reframed with ethos at the forefront. I love food that makes me think. I love seeing the differences in perspective that we can share all across the state of Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. And yet at the end of the day, it comes down to that delicious bite. And that for me is the reminder that this place, no matter how vast the different perspectives, is still a place we live and love and call home. Strangetown's a hit. I'll be back. Adaptogenics are really good for your brain. I'm hot.
Yeah, it's really, really hot.
This is really, really fantastic. This is me choking on a bite.
Nothing like 2 cameras in your face.
Do you think I could be the Rick Steves of the PBS food world?
This is exciting. I'm very titillated.
Thank you.
I can't use the word titillated. Why not? Titillated means exciting. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters.
Did you know Organic Valley protects over 400,000 acres of organic farmland? So are we an organic food cooperative that protects land? Or land conservationists who make delicious food? Yes, we are. Organic Valley.
Employee-owned New Glarus Brewing Company has been brewing and bottling beer for their friends only in Wisconsin since 1993. Just a short drive from Madison, come visit Swissconsin and see where your beer's made.
Wisconsin's great outdoors has something for everyone. Come for the adventure, stay for the memories. Go wild in Wisconsin. To build your adventure, visit dnr.wi.gov.
20-minute commutes, weekends on the lake, warm welcomes, and exciting career opportunities. Not to mention all the great food. There's a lot to look forward to in Wisconsin. Learn more at inwisconsin.com.
With additional support coming from the Conscious Carnivore, from local animal sourcing to on-site, high-quality butchering and packaging, the Conscious Carnivore can ensure organically raised, grass-fed, and healthy meats through its small group of local farmers. The Conscious Carnivore. Know your farmer, love your butcher.
Additional support from the following underwriters. Also with the support of Friends of PBS Wisconsin.
Are you hungry for more? Then go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. And be in the loop every time we release new content, behind-the-scenes footage, and new episodes that you can preview before anyone else. Check us out.